All right, welcome back to another Mike and Ian podcast, everybody. Today, Mike will demonstrate how a very popular lesson in his classes, which is teaching authentic writing through Google Maps.
Yes, sir.
Mike, what you got behind you?
Okay, so behind me on this magic whiteboard are examples of the lesson that you're going to do today. So as you can see, they're really colorful, really fun. There's a lot there. This particular lesson I usually do with the 6-month adult trainees. They are advanced level speakers. They come to JIEI for 6 months and they take a trip overseas. However, this lesson can absolutely be tailored for middle school and high school students of all different levels. And we'll take you through the methodology on how to do that today. So I thought for today's lesson, I would take the role of instructor, and then Ian would take the role of a good and bright student.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so again, what you see behind me are just, some reviews, because what you're going to do today is you're going to do two things. You're going to write a restaurant review, and you're going to publish it live.
Whoa.
All right, let's get started. So if you come look at this beautiful screen here, it says writing reviews. I always try to make my presentations as colorful and realistic as possible. Students know technology, so here's the technology. Let's begin the lesson. So Ian, student, I have a question for you.
Yes, Mike, teacher.
Why do we read or write reviews?
I think that we read or write reviews because we either want to encourage or promote businesses that we like and that we have favorable experiences at, or we want to warn people against establishments that give us negative experiences or could be something to watch out for.
Exactly. There is one word that I'm looking for. It's a 동사 or a verb. When you write a review, Ian, why are you writing review?
To recommend.
To recommend, and I'm looking for a verb that starts with H.
To help?
To help. Yes. So we're writing a review for two reasons. Number one, Ian was correct, to recommend, or maybe not to recommend. And number two is to help. That is the main reason that we write a review, is because we hope that we're helping other people. So here I have this slide. It's presented for advanced speakers. You can dumb down the language or simplify the language if you'd like. But I always like to talk about how the main point is by posting an online review, you're helping others. Here's where we come to our first slide. I know that in Korea, Naver is really popular and Naver has really good blogs. In fact, whenever I want to try a new coffee shop or restaurant or travel to Jeju, I always go to Naver blogs.
And if I want to know the times at the Yosu ferry terminal, I also go to Naver blogs.
Yeah, for sure. Bus schedule. Naver is great, but Naver is great in Korea. So outside of Korea, you'll find that in the main English-speaking world, Google rules it all. Google is everything. So Google is our one-stop place that we go to, to look at maps, to get bus times to, and to get reviews. It's all built in one screen. I'm going to show you real quick. So let's say we go to Google Maps. Okay, are you able to see this map of Yosu?
Yes, I see Yosu. It looks good.
Here we are on Dolsando, but let's go over to Ungcheon. Ungcheon is the new happening part of town. Now, one thing I want to warn you on is, because Google is not quite as developed in Korea, the maps aren't going to be as clear, but you will still be able to find what you're looking for. You can always type in English or you can type in Korean. So let's do Thai food.
Yummy.
Here we go. My favorite restaurant in Yosu. It's a good matjib. It's Coconut Rain.
Oh, yum. Okay. What we got here?
And they fixed the spelling. Yay. Previously. So let's come over here. Let's see. Let's look at this guy here, Mike Keebleback. He looks like an interesting guy. Looks like he wrote a review and published some pictures.
Yes, he did. He had some nice things to say, apparently.
Ian, how many stars did he rate this?
5 out of 5.
Yeah, 5 out of 5. Would you say that's a good review?
I would say there is no better.
Yeah, that's correct. I gave it a perfect review. So you can hear my voice, this is how I feel when I go there. Tasty Thai. Every time I come here, the food is consistently good. It's the best Thai that I've ever eaten in Korea. The papaya salad tastes like the papaya salad that I loved eating in Bangkok. I always come back and back and back. So what do you think of this review? Is it interesting? Is it colorful? Is it boring?
I think the only thing you missed is tastes so good it makes me want to pound my fist on a desk.
Makes you want to pound your fist on a what?
I hear you pounding your fist on the desk. You missed that part. It tastes so good it makes me want to punch a table.
Ah, yes. So this is what we call descriptive or colorful language. We don't, when we're reviewing a restaurant, we don't want to say, I went to Tasty Thai. I ordered Thai food. It was good. The restaurant was good. It's delicious. You should go there. Did that help you, Ian? Did that help you decide?
It was more helpful than nothing, but not that much more.
Yeah, it's really not helpful at all. So when we write reviews, we really, really want to help someone. So we either want them to go there or not go there. So as you can see in Google Maps, you can review or find anything. So Ian, today we are going to publish a review on Google Maps.
Yes.
Have you used Google Maps before?
Sometimes. I often use it to find directions or to find local restaurants.
Right. Google Maps is a lifesaver. So with this lesson, if you, the teachers, allow tech in your classroom, you can have the students use their cell phones, tablets, or Chromebooks to go along with the lesson. So you can teach the lesson tech or non-tech. For today, we're going to do a fusion of both.
Yeah.
So Google Maps, you can write and publish reviews. You can teach directions. These are just examples of lessons you can use. Today, we're going to use it for authentic language. So this brings us to our first example. I think it's very important for students to see examples of what you'd like them to do. And so I modeled a review of a place I went to in Hong Kong. Why don't you all take a moment to just read that? Okay, now that you've read the review, what do you think? Is it a good? Is it a positive or negative review?
It's quite positive. What I notice most is the specificity of the details.
And how so? Can you give me an example?
Well, you recommend specific foods, for example, the radish cakes or the barbecue dumpling buns. And you also mentioned that you ate breakfast there the following 2 mornings. You give very specific information, almost as if you're telling a story.
Yes. So when we have a good food experience, we should share that. We should make it like a story. What you just said is exactly what I tell my students. You want to make a story, but a fun and interesting story of your experience. Ian, do you notice my opening line? What is my opening line?
Delicious dim sum! Exclamation point.
Right. See how simple that is? Delicious dim sum. When you're writing a review, the most effective titles or opening sentences are short and sweet. You know, in English, we're told we need to write, really long, beautiful, poetic sentences. Yeah, that's true if you're writing a poem or publishing a book. But here we're writing a review. Let's keep it short. Let's keep it trendy. You can use hashtags, or you can say delicious, period, dim sum, period. These are all, kind of short and sweet ways to talk about your opener. But your opener, the delicious dim sum, your opener is almost the most important line. Because if you have a boring review, delicious food. Okay, scroll. Next. No one wants to read a boring title. So it's very important that your opening sentence, it's like you're going fishing. You want to catch the reader and draw the reader in.
I once took a class in news writing, and it's very similar when we write the lead, the LEDE. We want to make sure that first sentence captures the most essential information, but can also entice the reader to dive deeper into the article and into the topic.
Yeah, I agree. It sets the tone of the paper. And also what I think is fun is you don't have to do this, but I've included some personal pictures of my experience there. I always try to personalize lessons for my students to make it a little bit more interesting. But I use some colorful language in here. I said that the soft dumpling bun is heaven in your mouth. So let me ask you this. I'm going to give you 2 examples. The dim sum was delicious. The dim sum was heaven in my mouth. Which sentence makes you want to eat there more?
I'm biased because I just love dim sum, so you could probably tell me the dim sum was okay and I'd still go. But number 2 is far more evocative.
When I talk about the heaven in my mouth and it's a soft, hot dumpling bun, can't you picture that? Can
Sure.
you picture?
Yeah, it's so hot it burned my mouth and it hurts so good.
Right. Hurts so good. That's some good descriptive language there. From this, I like to flash this on the front screen so the students can see a good example.